Good morning. Roadrunners are coming off a 1-0-1 week in week six. The including some big road points with a 2-0 win at East Carolina. Coming up this week, we have nationally ranked Memphis, defending conference champion, on the schedule on the road, as well as one of the biggest records in the conference this year, Rice, coming to Park West on Sunday for Salute First Responders Day. I'll go ahead and hand it over to head coach Derek Pittman to talk about what we've got ahead in week 7 and anything from week 6.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. No, it was a great weekend. To be fair, really positive performance from our players on Thursday night in a really difficult environment. East Carolina is a tremendous team. They've got a lot of talent on their roster. We knew our matchups were positive for us. We felt like we could go in with the game plan we had and pull out a result on the road. And really proud of our players, how we stuck to that game plan, carried it out for the full 90 minutes. And, although we didn't create a ton of chances, we did an excellent job of finishing the ones that we did get, and at the same time limiting them. Outside of them hitting the crossbar early in the first half, they didn't have their first shot on goal until with about 10 minutes left to go in the game. And so I was really proud of our players, how they stood tall, really stuck together, and did their job in a difficult place to pull off those 3 points against a very good East Carolina team. Anytime you come off of a high performance like that, you always worry a little bit about the letdown. And unfortunately, I think that's what we experienced a little bit on Sunday. Playing against a solid Abilene Christian team. Coach Salas had his team prepared. They came in and showed a lot more competitiveness and fights and just overall physicality in the game than we had seen from them on tape. An area that we thought we could dominate, and I think we just didn't match them until the second half. First half was a little bit sloppy on our part with our play out of the back, as well as just, again, sticking to the game plan, doing the things that we wanted to be able to do to create some problems for him. It's nice to go up 1-0, but we were probably a bit fortunate to only be tied 1-1 at halftime. And, again, our kids bounced back. They responded well in the second half. They did what we asked of them. We outshot them, I think, 10-3 in the second half, had more chances, should have put one of them away to come away with the victory. But, at the end of the day, we'll look back at it, rest, recover, get ready for a really difficult week in AAC play. And excited to go on the road, measure ourselves against the top team in the league, and then come home and play Rice on Sunday. So 2 tough matchups that we've got coming up this week, which are going to be valuable in the points and the standings for the league.
With Sean popping the hand up, I'll go ahead and toss one to him.
How helpful was it for you to see what your team is capable of with that really strong performance against East Carolina? And then how do you talk about consistency in carrying that over to all matches?
Sean, if I knew that, I'd be really, really a happy coach. It definitely something we've been talking about all season. That we're constantly looking for the right chemistry. We're constantly looking for that consistency that, at this point in time of the season, I think we should be kind of clicking on all cylinders. 7-8 games left in the season. As we kind of come down this last third of the schedule, if you will, going into the conference tournament, we need to be clicking. We need to be hitting on all cylinders. We need to be doing the things that we should be doing. And so, yeah, definitely a bit frustrating out of a tremendous performance on Thursday to have a bit of a letdown on Sunday. But I know our players, they're going to bounce back. Met with the captains. They know what needs to be done. I think the confidence that we take away from playing against ECU is that we can match up against anybody. And, the fact that we are going into nationally ranked Memphis, we know that's going to be a tough contest. We played them really, really well last year. It took a absolute world-class goal to beat us 1-0 here at home. They are very good at home in their own, venue. So it's going to be a tough stretch, but I feel like we are in a really good place. We're getting back to where we have a lot of healthy bodies, playing some of our best soccer at this point in time outside of what we did on Sunday. But I'm excited to be able to go in and test our players against the top team in the league.
Go ahead and check in with Terrence and see what you got this morning. Oh, you muted yourself, Terrence.
As far as Memphis, was it something that they just kind of, maybe the last 3 or 4 years, kind of got a top 15 program, or is it something that's kind of been slowly building? And how much do you kind of use that as a test for your program also to kind of get to that level?
Well, Terrence, honestly, Memphis has been a top 25 program for probably nearly 8 to 10 years now. Brooks Monaghan, who's there, is the head coach. He played there. He's from there. He's been the head coach there for over 20 years, and he's built that program into a stellar championship, program. I have a lot of respect for him. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him for quite a while. He's done a phenomenal job recruiting, not just here in the States, but recruiting in Canada, overseas. He's got a talented roster every single year. He seems to always be able to reload and have a talented group. But I think it's maybe been over the last 5 or 6 years that people are standing up and taking notice of what Memphis is doing, because they are kind of separating themselves to be regularly now, not just top 25 or top 50. They're top 10, top 15 as they are now. They go toe-to-toe with Power 5, Power 4 conference teams every single year, and to really test themselves, and many, many times they win those games. So, they play a little bit of a different style than maybe other teams, which we have to adapt to. We've got to be prepared for. They're very good on the ball. They try to really emphasize getting the balls out to their wingers to be able to take people on 1v1. We've got to be good 1v1 defenders. We've got to make sure we give good cover, and we defend as a collective group. And if we do those things, we're going to be able to catch them and create opportunities, hopefully go in the other direction.
Go ahead, Sean.
Coach, you have 2 players on your team who transferred from Memphis. Can you speak about what they've brought to your team, and then also how you kind of talk about them facing their former team on Thursday night?
Well, first of all, I know they've had this date scheduled and circled on their calendar for quite some time. But yeah, Zoe May and Luli, 2 players that have come to us from Memphis, have both brought just that championship mindset. They come from an environment that has won championships, and it's expected to win championships. And that mentality that they've brought into our roster, along with the other players that we have currently on our roster wanting to be that championship team, it is meshed very, very well. Zoe May is fit in seamlessly into our group, has been a cornerstone of our midfield all season long, done a phenomenal job, as one of our leaders, one of our captains, one of our players that we depend on in many, many situations. Luli has been great. She's come off the bench in most of the games. She started yesterday, got herself her first collegiate goal, which was fantastic for her, which gives her a big boost of confidence going into this week. Yeah, so I know they're excited to play. I'm already picking their brain on things that we can do to maybe make life miserable for Memphis and their former teammates. So I know they're excited about it. So is our team, and looking forward to going in and getting a big result.
Go ahead, Terrence.
Coach, you say that Memphis plays a different style than, I guess, the rest of the conference. Last year, it seemed like a lot of it was through Maya Jones, who's in the NWSL. Is it still like that, or is it different formations as far as how they go?
Well, thankfully, Maya's gone, right? So she was an absolute handful each and every time she stepped on the field. They've got some similar players, maybe not quite as special as Maya just yet. But they still have Momo in the midfield, a Japanese playmaker for them. They have Anna Hauer out wide, who's an absolute handful, can cause some problems. Thankfully, I believe Henderson up front, who's their leading goal scorer, won't be participating in this contest because she picked up a red card against UAB on Thursday night. So it'll be nice that she's not going to be on the field. But I have no doubt it's just going to be next player up for them. The big thing is they possess the ball well. They get it to their wingers very quickly, or their wide players very quickly, and then they have a number of different ways to be able to break you down, whether it's on the dribble, whether it's through passing combinations, or simply serving it into the box. They're a difficult group to defend against, but our players shown that we can do that against the top teams like ECU and, again, Memphis last year. I thought we kept them at bay for many situations last year, and it's going to be, what we draw our confidence from going into this week's game. That we know that we can play against those teams, and we know that we can defend those teams. We know that we can beat those teams. ECU was picked to finish third in the league, and for us to go into their home field and take those 3 points is massive. So that's where our heads are at, as far as how we prepare this week and get ready for Memphis on Thursday.
Go ahead, Sean.
It's hard to win on the road, particularly in your sport. You've now done it the last 2 times out. What characteristics of this team make them able to be so successful in difficult environments?
Well, I think the maturity that we have to rely on our upperclassmen, our experience, our leadership that we have in the team, the juniors and seniors that have been there and done that and know what that looks like, and kind of lead the way for some of our younger players to understand that it takes everything you got and then some when it's on the road, right? You got to stick to the game plan. Can't deviate a whole lot from that. Every little detail matters. We've talked about this time and time again, is the margins are so small in our league that it's going to take your focus. It takes everything you've got, going into those matches. So I'm really proud of the leadership that we have, the captains that we have, the players that we can lean on in those critical moments to kind of bring the team together and put us in a situation we can manage those ebbs and flows. We talked about momentum a ton in the ECU game, where we were very much up against it in the first half. I think they outshot us like 9-1, but we found the one opportunity we needed to score a great goal. And then after that, we kind of, they kind of rose up, took the momentum from there. And then in the second half, we talked about at halftime. The momentum's huge, and we came out really sharp at the first 10 minutes of the second half against ECU, got the second goal, and then, really kind of leveled things off. Didn't allow it to go too high, too low, which was something I hadn't seen from our team in a long time, and it definitely paid off in massive dividends as far as the result was concerned. So we're going to have that same mentality going on the road, in a difficult place. I have no doubt that the environment's going to be packed. They're going to make it as miserable as possible there at Memphis for sure.
Terrence, go ahead.
As far as how much of a balance is there between knowing that this is a big game against Memphis, but also knowing that there's games after that, and kind of that making it like the Super Bowl for them? And
No, I mean, Terrence, I'm going to tell you, coaches speak here. We just focusing on one game at a time. But for sure, our players know that. We got 8 games left. We got 4 at home, 4 away, all big league games. We need as many points as possible from these remaining 8 games, to make it into the conference tournament. And so our players know that, we can't get too high, too low, as this season ebbs and flows and goes out, right? I mean, as high as we were on Thursday night, we got brought back to earth on Sunday. So keeping our heads about ourselves, really just focusing on the process, focusing on carrying out what matters, and what contributes to winning, and what contributes to our preparation, and what contributes to, giving ourselves the best opportunity to come away with points on the road at Memphis. And then we know we got to turn around and play a very, difficult Rice team. on Sunday here at home, which is going to be fantastic. We always play well against Rice. It's always a great matchup. They're having a great season so far with the results they've had leading up to league play, and have no doubt that they're going to have a tough match against UAB on Thursday, but then to come here and play us on Sunday is going to be a tough contest. So you got to just take it one game at a time, get the 3 points where we can get 3 points. Even getting 1 point as a draw in the league play can sometimes be the difference. I mean, we missed out on going to the conference tournament last year by 1 single point. We had 3 ties in the league. If any one of those had been a win, we would have been in the top 8 in the conference tournament. So we know that every game matters, and we're just going to continue to take it one game at a time.
Go ahead, Sean.
Sunday's game against Rice is a salute to first responders, part of the Hometown Heroes recognition for this season. Why is recognizing these heroes of San Antonio important to you and your program?
Well, first of all, it hits home for me. To be honest with you, my dad was a firefighter for 10 years and gave, 10 years of his life in the service industry, and being able to be a first responder. Stories he would tell me as I was growing up, him driving the truck to responding to different emergencies in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we grew up, was always something really important to me. And in fact, I have his firefighter badge tattooed on my arm. He was a hero of mine personally. So to be able to, honor those first responders here in San Antonio that give so much, from police officers to firefighters to paramedics, you name it, individuals that give so much to our community are the ones running into the danger and the ones that are always going to the chaos as opposed to running from it. I just have a special place in my heart for those individuals that are willing to give so much selflessly, and honor our community and protect the individuals that they're sworn in to take care of. And I'm extremely grateful for their service and everything they do for our community.
You have people see what your student athletes do on the field, but you have so many student athletes on your team who have such big aspirations for whenever their soccer careers end, whether that's going professional or after college. What do you see from the dedication that your student athletes have, not only to your program, but to preparation for the future and academically?
I think that's a fantastic question, Sean. Like when I got here in 2018, I was fortunate to inherit a roster full of incredible, high character, amazing individuals. Maybe where they lacked some success on the field, they were tremendous human beings off of it, and we really mirrored that in the sense of building this program on high character, high achieving, highly competitive kids. And we want to consistently recruit those players. We want to consistently attract those players to our program and hopefully build those individuals into our program, because that's, in my opinion, that is my job as a coach. Yes, we need to win soccer games. Yes, we want to compete for championships. We want to graduate our kids. But I hope more than anything, our coaching staff and myself as a coach, we inspire them and we help teach them how to be even better human beings than when they showed up on our campus. And, perfect example of that, Deja Sandoval, who played 87 games for us in her playing career, just helped her team in Iceland win their first league championship and get promoted, into the upper division, that they were, the first division from where they were in the second division. And that just happened this week. We want our players to know that they can go pro from here as soccer players, or they can go pro in anything else they choose to go, and the partnership that we now have entered into with UT Health, the engineering program that we have, the business degrees that we have, et cetera, the ability to come here and get a high education from UTSA, as well as compete at the highest level athletically and be able to go pro from here is huge. And the fact that we have players on our team that currently want to do that, and we are attracting those types of players that are also high character, high achieving human beings, is extremely exciting and bodes well for our program as we continue to move into the future.
that should take care of us today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and good luck this week on the road and then back at Park West, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.